The Seattle Seahawks are a complete and utter disappointment of a franchise right now. Day one of free agency, literally nothing was done. Day two of free agency, literally nothing was done. We lost Shaquill Griffin. We have lost Shaquill Griffin. Shaquill Griffin, according to Ian Rappaport, has signed to the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 3-year, $40 million that can go up to 45. I believe that's correct. Just what are we doing, man? What are the Seahawks doing? One, we're not going to get Chris Carson back because Aaron Jones got signed. He got re-signed. And, he's Chris Carson's the top guy in free agency now at running back. Seahawks aren't going to pay him. He's gone. KJ Wright most likely is going to be gone because the Seahawks don't want to pay anybody, apparently. Shaquill Griffin is already gone. He went to the Jaguars of all teams. I don't know why he went to that team. Maybe he thinks with Trevor Lawrence he'll be really good. But going a complete day and a half of free agency without trying to sign anybody. The Seahawks have really had no reports that they're going for anyone except for Shaquill Griffin. They apparently had a hard push to get Shaquill Griffin, but then literally like 2 minutes later, it came out that he signed with the Jaguars. Like, it just, the Seahawks have been completely disappointing. Joe Thuney going off the board, Corey Linsley going off the board. Like, I mean, there's some people that you really didn't expect the Seahawks to get, but Corey Linsley, I mean, you can spend that top dollar money to get an offensive lineman, to get a center that can kind of be the guy in the middle, the guy that kind of brings the entire offensive line group together. You have a good young guy in Damian Lewis. You can probably draft a good guy at either left guard or right tackle, and then boom, you have someone that can have younger people grow around him in Corey Linsley, someone who is experienced, talented, and he's not really that old. He's got some years ahead of him. So, I mean, it's just very confusing why the Seahawks didn't go for any of that. And, I mean, they haven't shown any want to try and get offensive linemen. So, most likely, Russell Wilson is gone. Russell Wilson, I wouldn't be surprised, seeing as though what the Seahawks haven't done throughout a day and a half of free agency to protect Russell Wilson. I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Wilson comes out and demands a trade. I mean, I wouldn't blame him. They're doing nothing. The Seahawks are doing nothing to try and help him. If you're going to have $22 million, you should spend it on a top-tier offensive lineman so that you can protect Russell Wilson. Now, of course, there's still some pretty decent offensive linemen in free agency still, and the Seahawks will probably try to sign some of those guys. But when Russell Wilson has publicly came out and said that he wants to be protected, you get a top-tier offensive lineman to show him that he is going to be protected. Even if he gets sacked, you showed him you are willing to put in the money to invest in protecting him. The Seahawks haven't done that. And they have 4 draft picks. So 1, they're not signing talent in free agency, and 2, they don't have a lot of draft capital to get anyone in the draft. So what are the Seahawks doing right now? We are just losing people day by day, not bringing anyone back. Everyone in the entire free agency is getting signed by the Patriots, apparently, and it's just completely just confusing why the Seahawks just decide that there's no reason to sign anyone on day one. Some supreme talent on offensive line. Why would we get that when our quarterback wants to be protected? Makes no sense. I mean, the Seahawks are an insanely stubborn team. They just never do anything in this first time of free agency. Apparently, they don't like big free agents, even when it's their guys that they need to bring back. I don't really have a lot of faith in us bringing back Chris Carson, KJ Wright, and Shaquill Griffin's already gone. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do going into next season, but hopefully the Seahawks can figure something out, because Russell Wilson, if I'm Russell Wilson right now, seeing all these top-tier offensive linemen go off the board and the Seahawks not even try, I'd be pissed. And I bet Russell Wilson is kind of upset. And he might even demand a trade, probably in the next day, if the Seahawks continue to do literally nothing on day 2 as well. So, I mean, we'll see what happens for the rest of free agency. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about Shaquill Griffin going to the Jags. Let me know what you think about the Seahawks doing literally nothing on day 1 of free agency. But, with that, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll be back with another video if the Seahawks ever sign anybody.